guys, it's me. How are you? I hope you're all well. Um, let's see. Well, hmm, so much noise. The world is a noisy place, and there sure is a lot of it. It seems to me like there are very few opportunities, though, to make sense of things, and that is the challenge that we have. How do we make sense of everything? How do we solve the problems that we've all inherited? Kind of move forward from here without making things worse. And who decides what's worse or better ultimately? Well, I know one thing that isn't better, and that's limiting the free will of each and every individual person, and trying to impose your idea of what is uh, good or bad on everybody else. I think what we need to do is create a world where each and every individual has a greater right of self-determination and individual liberty. Um, and that's what I'm certainly committed to. That's what I've been committed to since as far back as I can remember. I always thought that, that was just normal and natural, and that was how things are supposed to be. Well, turns out, obviously, that this is not a majority viewpoint. So it seems. Um, or at least that's how it seems. Now, maybe, just maybe, that is not true. But what we perceive is that if we seek greater freedom for the individual, that we are up against a massive mechanism which seeks to undermine that belief and further marginalize us as lovers of freedom and individual liberty. Um, but maybe in reality that isn't the case. Maybe the reality is that you know there's more. The human spirit is the fire that we have inside us that pushes us towards that ultimate goal of complete freedom for every individual. Maybe that is so unstoppable that the inevitable is that there will be a world of complete freedom for every person, every man, woman, and child. And any group or regime or institution or person who seeks to impose upon that will either A, have to learn differently, or B, will no longer be here to bother us, to bother the rest of us. Either is fine with me, but I'm hoping that more people will come to the table of appreciation for the individual freedoms that particularly our country, the United States of America, endorses and espouses in our founding documents. So here we are. There is no cookie cutter solution to anybody's problems. It's all individual. We're all unique. Everything is the whole world is and indeed the whole universe is custom made to, for some reason people seem to think that there needs to be some sort of uniformity and conformity to this, that, or the other thing, and that if you don't do that, that somehow you're a bad person or deserving of being treated badly or lied about or slandered or punished or whatever. That's unfortunately the type of world that we're currently living in. And as Americans, we have a tendency not to really know this, but certain parts of our country are very different than the rest of it that way. I certainly grew up in a part of the United States that was not very that way. Boston. Unfortunately, Massachusetts is, although a very Republican state, is politically controlled and influenced and basically dominated by Democratic politics, by the Democrats, who I am almost certain are engaged in things like election rigging and all manner of seedy behavior when it comes to the political process in my home state, which is why I don't really live in Massachusetts anymore. I still consider it my home state, but it's basically like uninhabitable for someone like me. And it really shouldn't be that way. It really, really shouldn't be that way in the United States of America. Anybody who has a differing viewpoint shouldn't be forced to basically leave, which is unfortunately what more or less happened to me. I'm really, and this is what happens in places where Democrats take hold. They don't really move things forward. They just stagnate things. Things go backwards if they're stagnating, and they just get in the way of progress. So I'm not saying all Democrats are like that, but that is the general policy approach of the Democratic Party in recent history. And I don't know how this came to be in Massachusetts, other than if there's massive corruption going on. And of course, I don't have any evidence of this because I've not been in a position to be able to investigate anything. But you know, this is what I am sure is going on. And New England used to be very Republican. It was for a very long time stronghold of republicanism. In fact, um, it's getting less and less so, and the places that used to be featuring the Democrats are now voting Republican. So there's your change, I guess. Now, if only we could get everybody all on the same page that way in terms of respect for each other and the process of the business of the United States. This is really what I'm seeking to do, is to try to, what do I think of Elizabeth Warren? Not much, frankly. Um, I think that Elizabeth Warren is one of those people that thinks that complaining about everything is going to create progress, and tearing things down that are actually productive and beneficial is somehow a way to make themselves look better. And I think that's all that she's done since she started campaigning. What I have seen of her campaign, it just seems like the only way she can feel good about herself and what she's doing is by putting others down. And I mean, she called Mike Pence a dog. You know, this man is our vice president. I mean, seriously, there should be a bit more respect for him. Frankly, I don't agree with Mike Pence on everything. In fact, I strongly disagree with him on a lot of things that he has supported over his career. But I still would have respect for him as a human being, and I think that's the difference between Republicans and Democrats. It's that, when Obama was president, uh, Republicans respected the vote and didn't, try to undermine the president where he was conducting himself in accord with the Constitution and the rule of law. But, when there's a Republican in office, that's just all the Democrats can do to try to make themselves feel better about having bad policies and weak candidates is tearing people down in ways that are not really productive or beneficial to anybody. It just becomes like it's becoming like well, I think it has become like that pretty much, like just a bunch of virtue signaling. What the Democrats really need to do is, if they want to be successful, is offer some good policies and some good approaches to solving our problems rather than just petty nitpicking and name calling, because you know it's easy to do that, and the temptation is to want to stoop to that level, I suppose, and that's why you know probably nobody does it better than Donald Trump, but he's just kind of showing them what to like. He's showing them how immature and stupid they're behaving, I think, by being better at what they do than they are in some instances. And he's really funny. He's you know satirizing what they do, and they don't even realize that he's making fun of them to their face. Um, so yeah, I don't really have any confidence in Elizabeth Warren. Frankly, that's all I would have to say about her. And the calling the vice president a dog is not really gonna it's not really gonna make me have any interest in supporting your campaign. I mean, that's just I don't care that she's from Massachusetts. I care that you know she would have a good policy and good policies, and I don't see that happening. I think the most probably viable candidate from Massachusetts, other than myself, frankly, would be former Governor Weld. Um, and I think he's hypercritical of Donald Trump, which shows a lack of understanding, frankly. Um, I don't think there's any reason to be overly critical of Donald Trump. I think the man is doing a fine job for the whole country, and he's trying really hard. He's up against a lot, and we see that, and we see it more and more every day. And I just think if we really want to make America the greatest again, which it was, we really should be getting behind what President Trump is trying to accomplish. And when he's done, because he can only do 8 years, find someone who's going to want to continue what he has laid out, continue and build upon the blueprints that he has laid out that are, you know, you know a collective of ideas and ideas that a collection of ideas that come from various different places. I'm sure some of them are his own as well, but these are not all new ideas to Mr. Trump, but they're nonetheless great ideas. And I think once he's done, we need to find people that can continue what he's done and do more. And that's why I think another reason why I'm kind of building on my campaign is becoming effectively a continuance of Trump's campaign, because we're getting to the point where we've made America great again. It really is getting to that point, I think, and we're gonna figure out how to keep it that way, which is what he's talking about. But eventually, it will be a thing where we've come this far. Let's not stop now. Let's make it the greatest. And I think that really should be the goal for the next however many years. And maybe after that, keep it the greatest. Maybe that can be the next president's slogan. Make America great, keep America great, make America the greatest, and keep America the greatest. And I think we can do that. I definitely think we can do that. But we have to not be asleep at the wheel ever. And we have to not let these people who want to discourage us do that. And not let their petty and jealousy undermine what we're doing and not stick to their level. This, like what Jesus said, if people don't want to hear what you have to say, just wipe the dust off your feet and go somewhere else, because there's always going to be someone who's going to want to listen and be an ally rather than an enemy. And those are the people we're really looking for and looking to win over. Yep. And that's it. Just ignore the negative, focus on the good things that are being accomplished, and get behind the people and support the people who are trying to do these things. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. And I'm going to continue to put myself out there as someone who is very, very interested in helping things move forward in the way that they have been for the last handful of years. I'm frankly extremely grateful for the progress that has been made thus far in turning things away from the direction they were going in. And to me, it's been kind of like a breath, a real serious breath of fresh air, and somewhat of a vacation, frankly. But because let me tell you, I was working real hard beforehand, and it wasn't getting me anywhere. Now I'm working less hard, and I'm getting more out of it. So it's all thanks to Donald Trump's policies and approach. And may we never forget what he's done, and may we never steer off the course that he's put us back on, because it really is going to be in the long term what makes America the greatest country on the planet once more, and keep it that way. So, but yeah, it is discouraging sometimes. People can be very negative, very hateful, very vindictive, and I'm not gonna lie. Personally, I have been discouraged, but I really see what's been going on now, and more so than ever. And I'm committed to just ignoring it, ignoring the negative, and you know, helping to take things forward for the sake of us, for the sake of our children, our children's children, and hopefully make this not just a better America, but a better world. And wouldn't that be amazing? I think so, frankly. All right. So, I don't have much else to say. I guess I'm just talking about sort of the negative things that I experienced in my day so far, and kind of not, you know, hopefully helping others to understand what it is that some of us are going through, and hopefully this helps somebody out there who watches this, and uh, hopefully you guys understand that you're not alone, and I don't feel like I'm alone either. I feel like there are millions of people out there who feel and think just the same way I do about this stuff, and this makes me very optimistic for the future of our country, and very optimistic that we can become the greatest country on the earth again, and that we will indeed do that. Um, and the world will look at us once more as the great example that we are, and that we're supposed to be. So, so yeah. Well, so this is Michael. I'm, as you can see, I'm sitting under a table. Um, I don't really know why, other than um, I think the frequencies are good under here. It's a nice wood frequency. Wood is good, you guys. It's good to surround yourselves with trees and natural things. So the more you can do that, I think, the better you'll feel. And so if you're stuck in the city just all the time, maybe try sitting under a table once in a while, which is what I'm doing. I'm in the city right now, so um, I'm getting back to the countryside soon. I'm pretty sure. I miss the woods and the wilderness. I think that's my natural element. I'm a wilderness kind of person, or at least kind of like suburban country person, country suburbs. It's more my type of thing. But cities are all right. You just get kind of, you know, weird. And I'm not going to go into the specifics of what happened today. I just want you guys to know that that's the general picture of what I've been up against, and so and the general picture I think of what all of us are up against, really. But hopefully we won't let the negative bring us down, and we won't be defeated by it. I don't think we will, because who are we? We are America, goddammit. We are America. All right. I'll talk to you guys soon.